Hi everyone, welcome back. In my last video I showed you the behind the scenes of filming a perfume commercial, and now I'll be covering the editing part of this ad. Again, I'm not sponsored by the brand I'll be showcasing today, this is just a personal project that I made for demonstration purposes. Alright, so I'll be using Davinci Resolve, but what I'm going to show you can be done in Final Cut or Premiere, as the same principles apply. You will see that I mostly used fairly basic features. Now let's jump into my timeline and let's play it through one time just as a quick refresher. Alright, so here the orange track is my song. The choice of music is very important for the vibe you want to convey with your commercial, so make sure you choose it with intention. The green tracks here are my sound effects, and there are blue tracks is where most of the footage is assembled. I did pretty minor color grading on this project, I just used a bit of contrast, but the colors were pretty much already as I wanted them to be, so I didn't touch them a lot. Let's select all these clips and hit Command R so you can see all the speed adjustments. You can see that several clips have been slowed down to 80 or 40%. This is because most of my shots were recorded at 60 frames per second and my timeline is at 24 FPS, so you want to make sure you conform all your clips to the correct frame rate so you don't get a choppy result. I used a lot of speed ramping in this edit as it helps to make the whole commercial flow. So for instance, this clip comes from 159% to 40% according to this curve, real-time speed curve. If you're not comfortable with speed ramping, I advise you to watch this video, which is very well done, and you will have all the basics of speed ramping in 5 minutes. The very first shot is not the one I had originally planned, but I placed it here because it's very dark at the beginning and it creates a sense of mystery. You don't know what the product exactly is yet, and hopefully you want to know what it is. In the next clip we start to learn a bit more, but keeping a certain hesitation. We can see the logo of the brand, but we still don't see the whole product. I slowed this clip all the way down to 40% to keep building that tension. The product has yet to be revealed, and this is in the next shot that we release the tension. You can see that it begins very dark, and with a close-up shot to match the closeness we had in the previous shot, I placed a zoom out in order to reveal the product in its entirety with light coming in as well. So now we can see the whole product, we know what it is, and we can go into the heart of the commercial, see all its features and how it works. We then want to emphasize what the name of the product is, so again, very tight shot with some speed ramping at the beginning to make it more dynamic, and then another close-up shot to showcase the name of the brand. So the interesting thing on this clip is that I added a translation on the x-axis to make it more dynamic and to match the movement of the previous shot, because it was too static in my opinion. So here is the original shot. You can see the keyframes here on the X position. And I also zoomed in a lot to focus the attention of the viewer on the name of the brand. Then another reveal shot in the desert to match the name of the product. I also added some speed ramping at the beginning and some stabilization as it was shot handheld. So now comes the interesting part, which is the flying cap. This is a compound clip, so let's open it in timeline. So what I used for this effect is the magic mask feature, which is only available in Davinci Resolve Studio, which is the paid version of Davinci Resolve. But I could have done it another way, it was just quicker for me. I just applied the magic mask. Actually I used the faster quality because the beta had some trouble to detect the exact edges of the cap. What I could have done instead, considering the shape of the cap, is use a regular rectangular mask and put keyframes on it in order to match the movement of the cap. This was a way faster method for me, so this is the one I used. And then what I did is simply add some keyframes on the position and scale in order to make it fly, and I think, yeah, I also used a bit of speed ramping to make it go faster. I got to the spray part. So I sprayed a little bit of perfume using 2 clips and then just masked the hand that did it. So let me show you that. Let's disable that clip, I'll talk about it later. The clip which is on top is the clip with the hand. So let me disable the mask so you can see my finger just pressing on the perfume bottle to release some perfume. And then I just masked it out. Let me show you the mask. Very rough mask, but with some softness, so we cannot see the border of the mask. And then I just placed another clip, which is an empty clip. Let me disable that one. It's totally empty. I just recorded the bottle by itself with the screen behind, and it creates that effect. So here I just added an overlay to emphasize the spray effect. So yeah, I put it in screen composite mode and I cranked down the opacity to 37%. The next clip is also an interesting one. I'll show you the raw clip in a second. So this is what the raw clip looks like. This is just a basic static shot of the bottle with the screen behind. And it was too static and I wanted to make something of that clip, so what I did is I used the pitch and yaw, actually just the yaw feature, and I adjusted it with some keyframes to fake a rotation movement. This is not perfect, but I think that almost everyone thought the bottle was rotating when they saw it in the middle of the ad. This is what we get. So the ending is fairly basic. Here we have a real rotating shot this time with just some speed ramping to make it more dynamic. And another shot, I actually used the zoom and position quite a bit because we could see the hand spinner, and yeah, in my opinion it was better in order to transition into the last shot. Here, as you can see, the bottle is in the same place, and in the last shot I made sure to leave some space for the name of the product and the brand, and I just added keyframes on the zoom or scale depending on what your software is. So that's it. I think I covered pretty much everything I had to show you today, so I hope this was informative and useful to you. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!